coming out, the warrior in you, the healer in you, the king, the queen, the god in you. Every single day we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that's holding you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere and it's right in your face. Let's go. So, Brother Chris.
Yes, sir.
The Seamoss comes from the ocean, and the ocean covers the entire planet. How is Seamoss from being from Africa? How is it different from Seamoss that we've seen from other places around the world?
Well, I think the Seamoss that we're getting here is mostly from the Caribbean. And the Caribbean has some really beautiful waters, but as we know, there's a lot of tourism in the Caribbean. There's also a lot of activity in the Caribbean as far as ships is concerned. I know that recently there was a huge oil spill in the waters near Jamaica, and so what they did was they surrounded these oil spills with these floating things that keeps the oil from spreading out, but then they burn it. They set it on fire, and that's the only way to they pump as much of it as they can, and then they set it on fire. So what that does is it sends all of this poison into the atmosphere, and then when it rains right down back into that water. So, and people have been wild harvesting Seamoss from the Caribbean for so many years that it's actually depleting, making it so that it's not growing the same. The difference is that Seamoss in Africa is untapped. Nobody has been going to Africa to get Seamoss. As far as I know, we are the first. I've been searching for Seamoss in Africa. I went to my first time in Africa, I believe, was probably about the year 2008, maybe even before then, right? Maybe 2007, 2008. And I went to Kenya, and then I went to Madagascar.
Oh, wow.
So when I was in Madagascar and I was in the beach, I found Seamoss. And I was just like, wait a minute, I can't believe that I'm finding Seamoss here in Africa, right? So when I found it, I was asking the people like, yo, do you guys eat this? And they was just like, nah, we don't even know what it is. What do you do with that? And I was just like, oh, wow, there's Seamoss in Africa. So I've been searching different places in Africa for Seamoss every time I'm there. And what I find about the Seamoss from Africa, one, the waters are more pristine and they're cleaner, and so the Seamoss itself is less interrupted.
Gotcha.
It's not interrupted at all. Second thing is this is not me just being, rhetorical. Everything in Africa is more powerful. The nature in Africa is more powerful. The people in Africa are stronger, which is why they bought us from Africa. Because when you go to Africa, little kids are as diesel because the regiment, the lifestyle, the earth itself, the soil, the plant life, everything is richer and more powerful in Africa. So what I found was this, and I've been getting Seamoss from the Caribbean since I've been dealing with Seamoss since the mid-80s. The Seamoss in Africa is much more expansive, it's bigger. So 1 pound of Seamoss from Africa, the volume is much, much, much bigger. For instance, this right here would normally be a pound of Seamoss in this bag right here. This is a 1/4 pound. That means this is 4 times bigger than your average pound of Seamoss. So what shocked me was the first time that I ever prepared the purple one. When I soaked it, I woke up the next day and the Seamoss had grown out of the bowl and was all over my counter.
Wow.
But let the ambulance pass. Right? So I have a pot that I prepare my Seamoss in, which is a 12-quart pot. It takes me 6 pounds of Seamoss to fill that pot up. That's what I clean and soak my Seamoss in. 6 pounds. When I was using this Seamoss from Africa, 1.5 pounds of Seamoss filled up the pot, so I couldn't even put the other half a pound of Seamoss in there. I couldn't even get 2 pounds in the pot.
Wow.
And the other Seamoss that I was using from the Caribbean, it took 6 pounds because that's how expansive this Seamoss from Africa is. So the Seamoss that we're bringing in from East Africa is the best Seamoss on the planet. Not only that, I find that it's more powerful, it's more energetic. Everyone I've been giving it to I haven't given this Seamoss to anyone that didn't recontact me. It's like, y'all want that Seamoss again. When they can get this Seamoss everywhere here. Matter of fact, there's a lot of shops that we wholesale our Seamoss to, where they actually say that when we give it to them wholesale, they put it in the bags and they write St. Lucia or Jamaica on it, and it's coming from us. It's coming from Africa.
Wow.
But I'm not trying to blow nobody up.
Wow.
But that's what a lot of the shops are doing. You don't know where your Seamoss is coming from. You may think it's coming from the Caribbean, but you have no idea where it's coming from. We're wholesaling, we're bringing in Seamoss in by the thousands of pounds. We have 33,000 pounds of Seamoss right at this minute. So
Awesome.
we have an abundance of Seamoss. So I'm saying that you don't know where your Seamoss is coming from. We know where ours is coming from.
Awesome, awesome. While I have you really quick, what's the best way to prepare it? Do you just soak it? Some people boil it.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I prepare it both ways. When I'm preparing it and I'm gonna use it right away, I may just soak it. And when you're soaking it, you have to soak it for a while because it has to break down. It has to turn into jelly.
How long?
So it's gonna take you probably about 2 days of soaking for you to be able to prepare it that way. And if you want to prepare it faster, you will boil it. So in other words, you can soak it overnight. That way when you wake up the next day, it'll be somewhat gelatinous.
Right.
But then when you put it in your pot and you boil it with distilled water, that way none of the minerals that the who knows where they get it from minerals that they put into that water is interfering with the minerals in the Seamoss.
Right.
Or you can use alkaline water, whatever you chose, as long as it's some clean version of water. You don't want to use tap water.
Right.
And then you can boil it with that water. You soak it and boil it with that water, and then it'll be ready in a few hours. You know, it'll be prepared in a few hours. So I do it both ways. When I'm selling my Seamoss, I'm making mass quantities, and because you never know how long someone's going to keep the Seamoss. So if I'm selling it to a store, I want to make sure that the shelf life is longer, so that you're not getting a product that is spoiled or old. What I do is when I prepare my Seamoss, I freeze it right away. I don't put my Seamoss in jars because it's too costly to ship, and putting it in glass jars is dangerous because if it cracks, you're getting a little piece of glass in your Seamoss gel. You got to throw it. It's done. But if using the little plastic containers, they also crack when you put them in the freezer or the refrigerator, because what happens is the Seamoss sometimes expands.
Yes.
Once it's jelly.
Yes.
And so it'll bust the container.
Wow.
When you put it in the plastic bag and it's a BPA-free bag, it won't break.
So you're actually here. We have African Seamoss. Superior African Seamoss.
That's right.
Sun-kissed,
So you can even see
sun-tanned, and sun-bleached.
you can see the little colors in there. You can see like the little hints of purple, pink.
Beautiful.
You can see
Look
that
at
You
this.
almost sound like you're talking about weed.
There you go. You know, look at that. You see the purples in there. You see
Yeah.
like the little bit of green right there. So, you know, this is straight from Mother Nature, man. Ain't no GMO, ain't no chemicals.
Beautiful.
It's fully organic.
Beautiful. There you go, all you would-be bedroom bullies. You got the recipe right from the brother who's bringing it straight from the motherland.
That's right. And you need to holler at me to get some of that super manhood, because I'm gonna tell you what, it'll change your life. It's good if before you go to you hit it before you go to the gym. You hit it when you come from the gym. You hit it before you gonna go do what you gotta do with your loved one.
All of a sudden, your woman start
I'ma
remembering
tell you,
all them recipes.
that's right, that's right.
She start bringing you breakfast.
And what happens is a lot of sisters buy this for their men. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
what's your contact information again?
You can contact me at chrisblackamerica@gmail.com. ChrisBlackAmerica@gmail.com. Or you can call me directly at 646-704-7148. And you can check me out on Instagram at SuperBio1. SUPERBBIO1.
Sounds
Got
great.
a little brain freeze.
Thank you
there.
again.
I gotta get some Seamoss.
out of here.